Hi everybody, Father Marshall Shelley here, coming to you from our home. I worked from home today. We had a dishwasher delivered. It's been a 2 and some change months journey for us as we are all finding out in this pandemic. The idea of finding appliances that tend to be on back order or trying to find the right deal and trying to find someone able to install them safely has always been a challenge anyway, and on top of that, in the midst of this pandemic, it's become quite a challenge. So you'll hear a little bit more about those challenges when I get to my word for the week, but I just wanted to bring you up to date on things that were happening here at St. Peter's. We had a beautiful Sunday to worship, though it was incredibly gusty with winds in excess of 25 to 27 miles an hour, and we all did our best to tough it out. So I want to thank everybody who was worshiping live with us. I want to thank everyone who is supporting us in prayer. We felt them and we need them always. So thank you for being one committed community in Christ, raising our voices to praising God. We anticipate this coming Sunday with Gaudete Sunday, the third Sunday of Advent, the Pink Sunday, the Rose Sunday, and we have a guest preacher this week, Laura Bonamici, who is aspiring to holy orders. She is getting ready to enter into the evaluation process of the diocese to discern a possible call to the priesthood. She will be preaching the sermon this coming Sunday. We look forward to hearing her words and her spirit being conveyed to us through her preachment. As well, things are continuing to proceed apace with our outreach efforts. Our thrift shop continues to go gangbusters. We are experiencing not only a great increase in demand, but also a great benefit from all the people who are taking this time in which they are homebound to do some clean out and to bring us goods that we can then resell to folks. I was there today actually, and it's always amazing to see what treasures find their way in. We actually got 3 typewriters, one electric, an old Sears electric typewriter, and then 2 old vintage portable typewriters. So you never know quite what you're going to find when you come into that space and see what might be preferred. And also, of course, we see tons of clothing, particularly one of the things that I appreciate being a man who's 6 foot plus and of a bit of a heavier frame. We've gotten a lot of large men's clothes. Those tend to be very rare and hard to find in thrift shops, and we've got a surfeit of those, so I'm thankful for that. Also, our feeding ministries continue apace. We've been able to serve well over 110 to 120 meals to folks, and to make sure that our volunteers as well are able to take some food home. One of the things I continue to be very happy about is the ability of our community to not only come and get food that is being preferred, but also to take food away for their neighbors. So we are feeding people who are feeding people. I also want to give thanks for Community Folk Ministries. Our board met this week. We are focused on raising the visibility of our outreach efforts in the community, making sure that folks know that St. Peter's is a place you can find that is safe and a good place to volunteer and to participate in service. We've had folks come from as far away as Milltown and East Brunswick and Edison to volunteer with us because we are able to provide that kind of an environment, and it's a warm and welcoming one as well, so we're thankful. I just wanted to also prefer to you this moment of Advent, anticipation of Christmas. We are doing everything we can to ensure that Christmas is safe, that our gatherings are fruitful and worshipful, even if we are forced to make accommodations and make choices in economy over extravagance in order to ensure safety and well-being. Your leadership is entirely and utterly invested in the care and maintenance of our mission and ministry, even as we seek to keep each other safe and well. Finally, I want to give thanks for our office staff, Christine, and also for all those who are working so hard to maintain our mission and ministry. We are really blessed overall by these volunteer leaders who continue to offer up support for our virtual Jesse Tree, our Sunday school, for our communications ministry, for our stewardship, for our finance ministries, for our formation ministries. We are really blessed, and I want to give thanks for all of their efforts and work. And also shout out to our producers and to our ushers and to our lectors who continue to brave the elements with me to lead worship on Sunday mornings. It really is a blessing to be able to gather with you all, and though times are not easy, we make them warm and bright with our efforts and with the affections. So that brings me to my word for the week. The word is endurance. I don't know if I've ever used this one before, but I'm going to renew it if I have. One of the things that has impressed me about that particular word is that it's about being able to bear with and bear up under probably some of the most extreme pressures in order to find and get to that moment when you're able to change gears, change venues, change pace, change a state of being. I've been trying, like many of us, to reassert some of my old routines of fitness, and one of those has been to get on a rowing machine down in our basement and to row. And one of the things I've found is that I'm starting to push my endurance. The thing that I find remarkable about that is that we hit different walls along the way as we push ourselves to that moment of feeling our endurance break. Of course, there's the muscle endurance, that physical ability and strength that we have, the ability to maintain an effort over time physically. But there's also the mental focus that's required of that, to be able to maintain the ability to dial in on a challenge, a problem, an effort, a thought, and follow it through to the end. That can be trying as well. And then finally, there's that emotional and spiritual endurance. And it's interesting that I usually find that moment at different points in my life. Perhaps you do as well. I find it when I'm exercising at the end of my physical and mental endurance. That's when my heart breaks as I try to push through to a next level of distance or of time, and I feel myself reach the end of that physical endurance. I feel an emotional release, a spiritual release. In the same way, when we are at the end of our ropes or at the extreme end of our physical or mental strength, we find that emotional and spiritual barrier being the last one we break through. It's important that as we express these levels of endurance, that we're there for each other as we go through them. I had a moment years ago when I was training with someone. It was a partner training, and as we were going through this, I hit the end of my spiritual emotional endurance, and as we were exercising together, I began to weep. And she asked me why I was crying. I said, I'm at the end of myself. And she says, I've been there many times, and I'm glad to be here with you in that. And I was able to weep with her in that moment. I was very grateful for that. She extended an awareness and a patience of wisdom that I hadn't really ever felt before in full measure. To have someone alongside us when we reach the end of our endurance is such a blessing. And I give thanks that St. Peter's is that kind of a community. When I hit the end of my endurance, be it physical, mental, or emotional and spiritual, I know that I am in a community of faith that is focused on sustaining each other through those trials. May we be together in the days to come. I bid you peace and grace, and may you be watched over this day with God's blessings, and thank you really for being a part of St. Peter's community. We're blessed to have you with us, and may we all with endurance run the race that is set before us. Take care and God bless.